Hi everybody, it's Crystal. So it's day 2 of me documenting all this on Facebook, or not Facebook, oh my god, YouTube, trying to make sure that I hold myself accountable. I heard my kiddo back here, sorry. So I started reading this book called Get Out of Your Own Way. It's by Mark Goulston, who's MD, and Philip Goldberg. And it's really had a profound effect on how it's really helped me to understand what some of my past feelings have really meant. The more I dig into the meaning of bipolar, I see the effects of it, not only as far as like how it's affected me, but how it's affected all those around me that to some extent I knew it did, obviously, but not to the extent as I do now. I don't think I have one friend one person that I consider to be a best friend or a really good friend where I haven't had a moment of afterthought of, oh fuck, why did I do that? Or, why did I say that? Which was generally the case in most of my scenarios that I think of whenever the bad ones really stand out. I would use my words to cut people when I would feel a certain type of way. And I really didn't know what that way was. I really could never understand what that feeling was that I had. And I think that feeling was rejection. And if that's the case, then I definitely know where that shit comes from. But that's a whole new video, or 500 or whatever else, right? Now, did my friends really reject me? No, not during the times that I'm thinking of. It was basically because of my own expectations. At least, that's it. I don't know 100% sure that it's rejection. I know it's a part of it. I'm sure as more time emerges and the more I learn, then I'm sure there's going to be other feelings associated with that. But for the really powerful instances, that's the feeling that I think I felt, which really had nothing to do with any of my friends. It basically ended up costing me a pretty valuable friendship at one point in time, and that's been a couple years ago. So I think from my understanding, the part of my problem with this was being able to really admit what I had did, like the extent of how damaging the words I said or my actions were. I never really wanted to fully admit to that. Because it's like, in these cases, it's like, man, I really fucked up. I never allowed myself to feel what I had did, because when I did, that would lead me down a rabbit hole of all these other shitty decisions, which were, basically just had no end sometimes, and ended up in depression for me. And that depression could last anywhere from, a day or two to months. I mean, so anytime that I would start to feel anything like that, I would instantly put a wall up. Are you okay? My kiddo's riding one of her little scooters and she ran it off the sidewalk. She's awesome. So, and then it's like, even if... So, anytime that something like that would happen, when I would fall into a depressive state, then it's like I would go into this whole justification of, well, I'm not really depressed because I can make myself, go to work, and yeah, I may come home and sleep from whatever time to when, but the fact that I'm up and working, I'm not depressed. The fact that I was socializing on the weekends, I justify that I wasn't depressed. What I was doing on the weekends was drinking a lot. So whenever I would start to let myself feel that way, I would put a wall up between not only just blocking myself off from my own feelings, but I would also put a wall up between my feelings and my friends when it comes to the feelings of basically embarrassment because of how I had acted previously or whatever I had done or said. So I just never really allowed myself to feel that. And it's like, I feel like I have 3 levels of feelings. I feel like the first core or the first circle is like entertaining the thought of even allowing myself to possibly consider, thinking about some of the actions that I've done that's been really damaging because of the feelings it brings up for me. So okay, so that was my dog's barking, sorry. So back to what I was talking about with my, like, the way I see my feelings. I have 3 of them, or three layers to my feelings, let's put it that way. And the first one, like I said, was even entertaining the thought of allowing myself to even consider feeling or opening that feeling up. But at the time, whatever that would have been, I didn't know. Now I kind of do. The second circle is basically allowing the first couple of scenarios that I think of that really bother me, and ones that come to mind whenever I first think about some of the things that I've done. And that's basically allowing myself to think about it and to start to feel those feelings that I associated with whatever that situation was at the time. And then the third feeling, the core, which is what I call the core feeling because I don't know how else to explain it, is where I kind of feel like that's where I'm at right now. I feel vulnerable by doing this, but I also kind of feel like, it's like my bipolar or my awareness of it is really starting to become known. I don't know. And sometimes I wonder what would have happened had I known this previously. I wish I'd went to therapy to help unfuck my mind, I guess, when I had the chance. Because maybe I wouldn't have, ruined some important relationships. At the time, there was just so much grandiose thinking and, depressive and manic phases, up and down. I was drinking. And, of course, this is all during a time where I was on 0 meds. And just pretty much on a path of self-destruction. I'm so, thankful and glad that I'm learning it and realizing it now. My friends never rejected me. It was my own self-sabotage. The feeling of rejection stemmed from what I was really feeling rejected from. And my outburst wasn't necessarily intended for my friend or friends at the time. It was intended for the person or persons responsible for my feeling of rejection. And I basically projected that onto my friends, which has in turn ruined a couple of really good friendships I have. So my feeling for today, my mood for today is being forgiving forgiving myself for being so hard on myself now, forgiving myself for not allowing myself to experience those feelings and try and really embrace what I was going through. And
Happy Mother's Day, Mommy!
thank you, baby. And in turn, that also kind of helps me feel some form of release. Like, I've been released from all of the past guilt and the past feelings I had. Well, no, I don't want to say that. Not the past feelings. I've forgiven myself for the fuck ups that I've done. Let's put it that way. And so now, now I guess I learn and I go from it. I go from here. I learn from it. And hopefully one day I can repair those friendships. I don't know, but we'll see. So happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, and I guess till tomorrow. Bye.